So I'm Lelemba Piri. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Zona. Zona is a mobile payment platform that enables people without bank accounts to be able to transfer money, save money, and very soon also borrow money. So essentially our aim is to be the number one financial service provider for people, that they might have different bank accounts, for example, but still will use us as their primary account for everything they want to do. So in terms of the challenge that's there, I guess for a lot of the African markets, the unbanked numbers of adults is still quite large. Zambia has been hovering at about 80% for the last 2 decades. And so in terms of need, the need is quite massive. But initially when Zona was set up, it was with the view of helping particularly small-scale farmers to be able to pay money and receive money from their suppliers. And so with that as the niche, somehow the need became so clear that it wasn't just needed in the agri space, and that this need to move money was needed for other areas of business as well. Zambia, where we started, which was our first market, at the point, people would probably need to move money like using a bus, just because like there weren't enough banks, and then people were just like a little bit intimidated about the whole banking system anyway. And so it would be something like get to a bus station, find out which town the driver is going to, and say something like, if you see my mom on the other side, she'll be in a yellow jersey, just give her my money. And so in terms of cost, risk, and time, it was always really quite costly. And so I guess having already created the platform to enable the farmer payments, it was quite easy to adapt the product to just make it a purely money transfer product and to work with community agents in different parts of the country as the main means for enabling these payments. And for all of our agents, they do it over a basic cell phone, so they can do it on a smartphone or even on a dumb phone. And so it made it pretty easy for people to sign up as agents and get trained quickly and set up as a business.
So my name's Sonia Giza. I'm the founding director of Innovation Edge. Innovation Edge is a grant and investment fund focused on early childhood care and education innovations. Innovation Edge was created in mid-2014 as an experimental platform to see whether we could create a pipeline of completely new approaches to addressing early childhood care and education challenges. When we talk about ECCE, early childhood care and education, we're talking about the period from conception to the age of 6 years when a child enters formal schooling. And the science now tells us that that period of brain development is absolutely critical for lifelong health, happiness, and success. And the combination of the neuroscience and the economics has shone a spotlight onto early childhood care and education. And so increasingly funders are interested in how to make the most of these first 6 years of life. And so a group of funders approached me and asked me to set up a fund that would allow them to innovate solutions within early childhood care and education. So they pooled their resources, and for 2 years we really were very experimental, trying to come up with ways of creating new solutions, testing them, going through a proof of concept, and then transitioning to scale. So the outcomes we're trying to achieve for all children, particularly those living in poverty, is that they have the physical, emotional, social, and cognitive skills needed to thrive by the time they enter formal schooling.
My name is Marhawi. I work for Slum Dwellers International, SDI, at the Secretariat. SDI is an umbrella organization of millions of slum dweller communities who are organized at the settlement level, networked across city, and federated nationally. So SDI comprise over 30 federations around the global south. SDI was created to give voice to the urban poor by enabling solidarity between slum communities across settlements, cities, and nations. SDI's mission is to see slums transformed into resilient, inclusive, integrated city neighborhoods. SDI is a bottom-up organization. The saving groups at a settlement level, networked at a city level, and federated at the national level actually make decisions SDI's global agenda is driven by the challenge, the daily challenge and solutions that come from the saving groups at the settlement level. And SDI essentially amplifies that, taking those approaches and those solutions to national and global stage to change, to advocate for a bottom-up development agenda. SDI's body is mostly comprised of slum dwellers. Our president, Jochen, he was a slum dweller in Mumbai. And more than 50%, if not about 80% of SDI's board are actually former slum dwellers who are now federation leaders around the globe.
My name is Tracy Naledi. I work for the Western Cape Department of Health, which is a provincial government. In our country, we've got 3 levels of government, municipal level, provincial level, and the national level. So I work at the provincial level. And our constitutional mandate is to provide health services to the population of the Western Cape, one of the 9 provinces in our country. And more broadly, not just about health services, but to facilitate health and well-being, which actually calls on us to go beyond the delivery of health services, but to think about other factors that might impact on people's health and well-being. So in South Africa, government actually is the main provider for health services. The private sector only provides health services to about 16% of the population. So more than 80% of the population is dependent on the public service in our country. And the public service does deliver health services to that population throughout the country. In our province, for example, we have over 400 health facilities that are in every single municipality, every single district in our province. And most people in our province are within about 5 kilometers of the nearest health facility.
Hi, I'm Heather Jackson and I head up impact investing at Ashburton Investments. Ashburton is part of the broader First Strand Group.
I'm Dean Hand. I work with Ashburton Investments, which is an asset management company based in South Africa, and I work as part of the impact investing team.
So Dean and I have quite an interesting background, independently and then as a team, because Dean headed up an NGO, Greater Capital, and I headed up impact investing at an asset manager that I was working for at the time. And wanted to branch out of traditional asset management and into impact investing. This was back in 2007, so it's 10 years ago now. Unbeknownst to us, the term impact investing was just being coined at that time. And I approached Greater Capital. Dean wasn't actually there at the time, but she came about a year later. And we formed a formal joint venture as from the asset manager's perspective to implement impact investing, because what the NGO brought, which is a very different set of skills to obviously what a traditional asset manager has, is the ability to source the kinds of investments that we needed to make on behalf of our clients. So long-term pension fund or insurance investors, and we, by partnering with Greater Capital, we were able to actually source and importantly measure the impact in a very intentional way, actually measure the impact. Of course, as the asset manager, we took care of the credit analysis and the work that we had been doing for many years prior to that, but marrying it with a very intentional impact focus. And that is really what gave rise to impact investing, and it's been, we're still here, we're managing funds, and we've had a very successful track record of it.